Hey folks, so today we have Shantanu joining us. He has admit from NTU, Singapore. So let's jump onto him and hear his story. Hey Shantanu, welcome on board.
Hi, Anurag.
Hey, so just can you tell me how did you manage to get into NTU and what is your story like? How did you approach?
Mhm.
Why did you choose NTU and we moved forward with that kind of a selection?
Got it. Pretty long journey. I initially started off trying to apply only to ISP. I was not willing to go outside India, so I tried. I spent 2 years, not very efficiently, but I spent 2 years trying to get into ISP. It did not work out. Then I realized by last year, which was 2019, by actually no, in 2020 in January, I realized that ISB is not the best fit for me. Looking at my 5 years of experience in e-commerce plus data analytics, and also researching into various universities outside India, I realized those will be a better exposure for me. 900 students, 900 students in ISB, studying among 900 students would not make a lot of sense, and hence a US or a Singapore or a Europe would make a lot more sense. Among those geographies, it was Singapore being close and also a lot more open and compared to US, which had very good schools. And so the US and Singapore were my two focus areas. I got interviews from both in Singapore from both NUS and NTU, and in US from almost four schools: Kelly, Penn State, and there was one or two more schools. So those were the interviews that came up, and finally NTU got converted.
Got it. Anyways, it's a great school to be part of, and I completely actually echo your thoughts in that case. Is that ISB with a 900 batch strength without that diversity factor which you actually find in schools like an NTU and other USB schools, and the ROI is something that you want to
Hmm.
consider, provided you have like 5 or 6 years of experience, like you were mentioning. So yeah, obviously a good
Right.
choice to go for NTU and colleges abroad. Now moving on to the second bit, Shantanu, while you are actually applying for the B school, selecting a B school, like you decided basis various factors like geography and other things, you have to also see how do you get your academics in there. One of the key aspects of academics is your GMAT score. So how did
Hmm.
you prepare for your GMAT, and how what would you recommend people for applying for GMAT, and how do you approach this thing?
Got it. So I was very not arrogant, but sort of in that mind frame, saying that I can do it myself. So I spent the first year trying to prepare myself. It did not. I could not spend much time, and then I enrolled into a classroom program in Bangalore. This was Crack Verbal. So enrolled into the classroom program for what 1.5 months. Every weekend, about 6 hours, and after that, I took about 2 months of break, and then I appeared for GMAT, and that worked out. So
Uh,
that was the approach I took.
sure. So what was your score, final score, Shantanu, and the corresponding breakup?
So sorry, the final score was 700. What was the other question?
And the breakup across quant
Sorry,
and
break.
verbal.
I scored 48 in quant and 35 in verbal.
Great. I would suppose, and even me, I would be like odd with the verbal score. We like really struggle on the verbal part. So yeah, something to take a
For
note
me, it was the opposite.
of.
For me, quant was the more. So I after so many while my verbal score kept increasing in my mock and tests, my quant score remained fixed at 48, 49. It never crossed it, so hence uh, that was my biggest struggle.
Got it. Sure. So that's how you approach the GMAT bit, Shantanu. Now, while you are approaching a B school, obviously selecting a B school, giving your GMAT in place, and now the second bit is telling your story. And one of the key modes that generally schools like to evaluate is firstly either through a video interview or through your SOP. Now, how did you approach the SOP part? Because it forms a key factor of your application process. And how do you basically make it in a such a way so that it plays to your strength and you can improve your chances of getting into the school?
Right. So before I sat down and wrote my essays and my SOPs, I think I took 3 or 4 months to write my first SOP. This was for ISB, and to even write that, I had filled lot of pages with stories right from childhood to your what happened in college, and then what has happened in work. Finally, when I went down to writing SOPs for each of these schools, I first looked at what qualities are they looking for. A lot of schools are looking for team building, team great team player. The other schools are looking for leadership skills. Some others are looking for it entirely a very different fun kind of person. For example, Duke being a very good example. There, the entire 25 unique things about you. So, hence, I picked story since I had my entire bunch of stories with me. I picked up specific elements from there and put forward in my SOPs. To give one example, NTU had one question which where you needed to tell about your social contribution. So there I brought in things that I've done in college with respect to teaching underprivileged kids and how I continued that effort. So picking stories from your life, it's very important that you have everything in place. Every school will look for something different, and how do you pitch it best is what are they looking for.
Yeah, Shantanu, got it. So that's how you went about basically presenting your story. Now there are a couple more parts which again forms a vital component of your application. Obviously, one is a face-to-face interview with the adcoms, but the second bit is sometimes various schools. I don't know whether you faced or not, ask for a basically a very fast-tracked interview process where they throw like a question to you and you have to answer within a minute or so. So how did you prepare for that? Because it's more about obviously your mental setup first, and also your overall control over the English language also. So how did you went about that?
Right, a lot. So a lot of that happens when you already prepare stories. So when I was writing my SOPs, I already had about almost 40-50 different stories right from childhood till now. Hence, I knew under what circumstance what should I talk about. Each of these video essays that come to you, they first give you certain practice questions. Most of these practice questions are related to what questions are coming up. So if somebody wants to know what kind somebody wants to know very travel oriented or hobby oriented questions, their practice questions are very similar, and hence you'll get certain idea that what sort of questions can come up. So when you practice, and there is no time limit, there is no deadline that once you start practicing, you have to give the final interview in an hour's time. That does not happen. You can keep practicing for 2-3 days and then give the interview. So past stories, the practice questions, plus the right time and right frame of mind, which for me was either morning or the afternoon time. So keeping these in perspective, that is how I approach these video essay questions.
Got it. And the last bit, Shantanu, which is obviously the interview part, and which is perhaps one of the most vital components of your application, where you actually meet the adcoms and they get to know you in person. What do you recommend to the people who will be actually facing the music this time around?
Right. So the interview part was another very what do you call it? Heartening part of my entire story, where all of my interviews went for a toss. Went for a toss in the sense I could not crack them, and the last interview finally worked out. A lot of that is driven because I kept learning through all the interviews. I had not taken any coaching or practice for that. I was improvising on myself, and hence uh, being to the point, being and also knowing the market of whatever country you've applied to. I remember my first interview with NUS. I was not very clear about the Singapore job market. Whereas when I interviewed for NTU, I was very sure which company is what, who recruits what, and hence I was pretty on spot that I am working in e-commerce, my experience is in e-commerce, and hence I want to go in e-commerce. And the exact companies are these which are hiring also from your college. So being in that frame of mind helps the interviewer make the final call very easily. So that is how I would put it. There's also one more factor. Talking to the alumni, talking to people who have either studied over there or know that college very well. It gives a lot of validation to whatever you're speaking, and hence that part should be very well done. If you're bringing examples of who you have talked to, why do you feel so good about the college? That brings in a lot of interest and motivation that you are bringing in for the college. That's important. The interviewer over there is looking, apart from the fact that you have very good market knowledge, also how interested you are to come into the college, because almost everyone has multiple what do you call it, admission offers, and hence you have to show that extra bit of motivation.
Got it, Shantanu. So yeah, so those were the questions I had, Shantanu. If you have any more thing to add
Great.
for people who will be applying this year, it will be great. Otherwise, I think good to go.
Sure. Just one point. As Indians, we always underrate ourselves. We don't think that we can do better or we can get a better college. That is not the case. The people who come and study in a college like a UCLA or a UC Berkeley or even a LBS are not, while you will find top 1% or top 2% of the students being fantastically great, apart from that, they are average people just like us. It is very important that, taking that part, the second part, it's very important that you talk about your general life stories. A lot of life stories we tend to undervalue. That is not the case. If you have stayed in a T3 city, if you have been able to make very good, if you have been able to change yourself, or if you've always shown improvement, please highlight that in your SOPs. It's very important. Colleges love such stories, and there's no harm in being sentimental, being very upfront about your background. All of that helps. So those will be the two key pointers. Both of them have a single idea: do not undervalue yourself.
Got it, Shantanu. I completely again agree with you. So yeah, so thanks for your time, Shantanu. Hopefully you do make it to your college next year around. Obviously, this is
Yeah,
a
I
year
hope
you
everything becomes normal and I
yeah
can go to the country.
yeah, this is an outlier year, so you can't really do anything. But yeah, all
Right.
the best to you. And so again, do make it to the college next
Sure.
year. Thanks
Thank you,
again.
Anurag.
Thanks again for sparing time. Thanks for watching the video and do subscribe to our channel for more videos like this.